Today I'm going to build a survival camp. So basically I'm just going to build like a shelter and just everything that you would do if you were in a survival situation. So I hope you enjoy this basically tutorial / video on how to make a survival camp. Hope you like it and enjoy. The next thing you want to think about is something called the rule of threes. So when you're in a survival situation, just something to think about is keep in mind you can survive for 3 hours without a regulated body temperature. So if you're like in a cold situation, you can basically survive 3 hours without like keeping your body, at a stable temperature. You can survive also 3 days without water. So that's something to remember. And then also you can survive 3 weeks without food. So following that, assessment of like what things are important for humans that they need for basic survival, then you can think about what you basically need to build first, what you need to have set out when you're in a survival situation. So, when keeping that in mind, the first thing is 3 hours without regulated body temperature. So with that would mean shelter. So we're going to build first a shelter, and let's get to work. When building a shelter, you need to find a good place, to build your shelter. So I have chosen the debris hut as the shelter that I will build. And so in order to do that, you need to find a tree with a crook. So I'll do the one that's right in front here. So next, then I find the tree that I'm going to use, I need to find an 8-foot wooden pole. So I need to go find that. So here I have my 8-foot pole, which is leaning up against my crook of my tree right there. So now that I got that done, I'm going to gather some sticks, kind of laying it from small up to relatively large sticks so that I can, sort of make like a teepee sort of style. So I'll get all that stuff ready so you can see what it looks like. Now I have basically the ribbing, so the sticks are all on. I'll show you the other side here. So now what I'll do is I'll put some leaves and debris. That's why it's called a debris hut. All over this thing, and I'll put about 3 feet worth of leaves, debris, kind of stuff to kind of insulate it. So just kind of like place it around so that it's like insulated like a little hut. So I'll get all that on there, and then we should be just about done. So I finished up the debris hut, and so I basically just put leaves, basically just ground material, just basically on top here. So this probably took me about an hour to build, I'd say. So it's not too hard to build, and it looks really cool inside. So I'll show you that. So here's the entrance here. So as you can see, it's got a really cool little cave in here. So it's really cool. Here's just a little outside view from inside. So I'm just right inside right now, and it's pretty comfortable. So now that I've finished this is the first step when building a little survival camp. So now my body temperature, if I was in a situation where that was a problem, then I would probably be safe for right now. I would actually, if I was really in a bad situation, I would probably close this off. But now, so we've gone over the rule of threes again. So we can go 3 hours without a regulated body temperature. So now that I've got my shelter built, that one's pretty much checked off. Now second, I can survive 3 days without water. So that means the next step would be for me to get some water. So in the next video, I'll show you guys how to get and purify water. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in part 2. Hey everyone, so we're at part 2 of our survival camp series. So now we're going to get some water, procure some water, and purify it. So we'll just get right into it. This method of gathering water is through using a cloth of some type and some dew from grass. So what I'll do is I'll just take this cloth here, and I will rub it along the grass, and it will just kind of gather up the water. And so then I would wring it out into a cup. So now I'm going to just do that and give you an example. Here I have just some of the water that I've collected. So, in order to purify it now, I would just boil it for 2 to 3 minutes. And when we get to the fire section of the survival camp, then I will do so. But I found out that if you do this for about 30 minutes, just kind of wringing water and getting it and getting a cup, you can get up to a gallon of water just from doing it for 30 minutes. And so whenever you're like in a survival trip, about a gallon of water is what a person should have each day. So if you just do that for 30 minutes, you're good for an entire day. So water is extremely important when you're in a survival situation. So it's just very important to get good, clean, fresh water. So that's it. Now we're going to get on to the next section, which would be fire.